This lesson, we will solve problems involving factoring. So let us have the first problem. The area of a square is numerically equal to 50 times its perimeter. Find the length of a side of the square. So first, you need to understand the problem. So if you can translate it in Tagalog or Kapampangan, much better. So let's try it. The area of a square is numerically equal to 50 times. So, yung area daw ng square ay equal sa 50 times nung perimeter niya. Tapos, hanapin natin yung length ng side ng square. So, when we say area, the formula in getting the area is S squared. Okay? And then, in getting the perimeter, the area is 4S, where S is the side of a square. Isn't it? When we say square, it means it has all sides equal, or it has 4 equal sides. So we will now represent the problem using this formula. So the area S squared is 50 times. So 50 times the perimeter for S. And then we will now multiply 50 and 4S. 50 times 4, that is 200S. And then, actually, we will use common monomial factor, but I'll rather use the easier way. So, we will just divide both sides by S to get the value of S, or the side. So, that is our goal, to get the value of S, right? So, we will divide S squared divided by S. It will give you S. You subtract the exponent. And then, 200S divided by S. So, S will be cancelled. And then, copy 200. So, our side is 200. So, that's the final answer. Let's have our second problem. Suppose that the 6 times the cube of a number equals 54 times the number. And then we have to find the number. So first, you have to understand the problem. So we are dealing with a number, and then we will represent the number by x. So 6 times the cube. So x cube, and then it's 6 times, and then equals to 54 times the same number, which is x. So remember, in dealing equations, we have equal sign from the word equation, and then we have two sides, the left side and the right side. So here, our goal is to have all the terms in the left side, and then it will be 0 in the right side. We can use the properties of equality, but it is a long process. So I will teach you a shortcut. This method is called transposition, or we will transpose a term in one side, and then we will transfer it to the other side. In this case, we will transfer 54x from the right side and we will put it in the left side. But the rule is, if you are transferring a term from a side to another side, you have to change the sign. In this example, 54x is positive. So if we will transfer it from right to left, it will become negative 54x. And then we will copy the term in the left side, which is 6x cubed, and then equals, since 54x is already transferred to the another side, it will become 0. So in here, we will now solve 6x cubed minus 54x equals 0. So first, we will use the CMF. So what number can divide 6 and 54? So that is 6. And then, which variable is the common factor of the two terms? X cubed or x? So we will get x, since x has lower exponent than x cubed. So we will divide this one by 6x and then 6x. So 6 divided by 6, it will become 1. And then x cubed divided by x, that will be x squared. So we just subtract the exponent. And then 54 divided by 6, that is 9. And then x divided by x, it will become 1. And then let us copy the sign of the given. So now we have 6x and then times the quantity x squared minus 9. Looking at the terms inside the parentheses, we can say that this is a difference of two squares. So how can we factor difference of two squares? Factor the first term, x and x, and then factor 9, that is 3. 3 times 3. And then we will write the factors in two parentheses, the factors of x squared, and then the factors of 9. And then we will use opposite sign. So we will have one positive, one negative, and then don't forget to write the remaining terms. In here, we can now solve the value of x by equating all the factors by 0. We will equate all the factors. So we have 6x equals 0, x plus 3 equals 0, and then x minus 3 equals 0. So we have 3. And then, if we will use the division property of equality, we will divide this by 6. And then 6 divided by 6, that is 1. So x is 0. In here, we will still use the transposition method. So from the left side, we will transpose 3. So from positive, 3 will become negative, and then x. And then here, same, we will use the transposition method. Negative 3 will be transferred from left side to right side. So negative 3, change the sign, it will become positive 3. In this problem, we have 3 values of x. We have 0, negative 3, and 3. So these 3 are all answers for this problem. Let's have the third problem. The area of a square is 25y minus 100y plus 100. Square units. Square units. What is the length of side of the square? So this example is a simpler one. So we just need to factor the area of a square, which is 25y squared minus 100y plus 100. So you need to check if this trinomial is a perfect square or a general trinomial. So we will factor 25y squared, that is 5y, and then 100, that is 10 times 10, and then we will check the middle term if it is 100y. So 5y times 10, and then don't forget to double it or multiply it by 2. 2 times 5y, that is 10y times 10, that is 100y. So this is an example of perfect square trinomial. So we will write the factors. The factor of the first term, and then the factor of the last term, and then copy the sign of the middle term, which is minus. Or we can write this one as 5y minus 10 quantity raised to the second power. And then, since we have 5y minus 10, we will equate these two factors by 0. We will equate these two factors into 0. So we have 5y minus 10 equals 0. 5y minus 10 equals 0. So as you can see, you can just solve one of these two because they are just identical. So we will just solve this one since it will give us the same answer. So from left side, we will transfer negative 10. It will become positive 10, and then 5y. Next, we will divide the equation by the numerical coefficient beside the variable. So here, our variable is y. What number beside it? So that is 5. So we will divide both by 5 to get the value of y. So we have 5 divided by 5, that is 1. And then we will just copy y. And then 10 over 5, that is 2. So meaning 2 is the side of this square. You need to write the unit. So in this example, don't forget to write the unit if it is indicated in the problem. So in here example, we have square units. So we will just write units. So this is the answer for this problem. The square of a number is 20 more than 8 times a times the number. Find the number. Square of a number, so still we will use a variable. So for example, we will use z. So we have z squared, because square of the number is meaning equals. And then we will add 20 to the 8 times of a number. And then we will use the transpose method. We have the left and the right. So we will transfer all the terms in the right side to the left side. So from positive 8z, it will become negative 8z. And then from positive 20, it will become negative 20. And then you copy z squared equals 0. Here, since 20 is not a perfect square, it is obvious that this example is a general trinomial. First, list down all the factors of 20. So we have 5 times 4, 10 times 2, 20 times 1. Since our third term in the general trinomial is negative, we will subtract the factors. So we have 5 minus 4, that is 1. 10 minus 2, that is 8. 20 minus 1, that is 19. So 10 and 2 will give us the middle term. So we will use 10 and 2. Next, we will factor the first term, z squared. So z times z. And then we will write them in separate parentheses. And then we will use 10 and 2. 10 and 2. Since our third term is negative, we will use opposite signs. And then, the sign of the middle term will be followed by the higher factor. So, 10 is higher than 2. So, 10 will follow negative. And then 2 is positive. So, we have z minus 10. And then z plus 2, and then we will equate them into 0. So we have z minus 10 equals 0, z plus 2 equals 0. So we will use the transposition method from left side to right side. We will transfer negative 10, it will become positive 10, and then copy z. From positive 2 from left side, we will put it in the right side, and then it will become negative 2. And then copy z. In this example, the numbers can be 10 and negative 2. The length of a rectangular table is 8 more than the width. If the area is 180 meter squared, find the length and the width. Let's recall what is the formula in getting the area of a rectangle. So we have area is equals length times width. And then we will substitute the given. Here it says that the length is 8 more than the width. So L will become 8 more than the width. And then we will multiply it by the width, W. And then we will substitute the value of area, which is 180. Next, we will distribute W in this binomial. We have W times W, that is W squared. W times 8, that is 8W. And then copy 180. In here, we have two sides, the left and the right side. So that you will not have a lot of steps in the procedures, we will just transpose 180 from the left side to the right side. So 180 from positive will become negative 180, and then you copy the terms in the right side, and then it will become equals to 0. So if you can recall your properties of equality, this one is just the same when 0 is in the right side. So next we have W squared plus 8W minus 180. Now we will list the factors of 180 to get 8W. So we have 18 times 10, 36 times 5, 9 times 20, 180 times 1, 15 times 12. So that's it. And then, since our third term is negative, meaning we will subtract the factors. So we have 8, 31, negative 11, 179, 3. And then, which pair will give us the middle term? So that is 18 and 10. So we will factor the first term, W. And then, we will have the two binomials. Write the factors of the first term. And then, the factor that we will be using for 180 is 18 and 10. So we have 18 and 10. And then, since our third term is negative, the higher factor will follow the sign of the middle term. So 18 is higher, so 18 will follow positive, and then 10 will follow negative. And then 10 is negative. Next, we will write the factors, and then we will equate them to 0. So we will have W plus 18 equals 0. W minus 10 equals 0. And then we will use the transposition method, the left and the right side. So from positive 18, it will become negative 18. And then from here, left to right, negative 10 will become positive 10. And then copy W. So in this example, we will disregard negative 18 as the side because there is no negative side of a rectangle. So we will just have 10. So 10 is the answer, and then we will use the unit. The unit is meters. The side is 10 meters. So this is the final answer for this example. Let us have the last example for the problem solving. The product of two consecutive integers is 110. Find the value of the integers. So in here, we have to find two integers. So the first integer will be x. And then consecutive meaning the number after x. So if we have 1 as the integer, the consecutive integer of 1 is 2. So we will just add 1 to the first integer to get the second integer. And then it says that their product is 110. So we will multiply the first integer and the second integer, and then the product is 110. Next, we will distribute x to the terms inside the parentheses. So we have x times x, that is x squared, x times 1, that is x, and then equals 110. Afterwards, we will have the left and the right side. So we will transfer or transpose 110 to the left side. So from positive, it will become negative 110. And then you copy the terms in the left side. So now we already have x squared plus x minus 110 equals 0. We need to think of all the factors of 110. So we have 110 times 1, 11 times 10, 22 times 5. Since the last term is negative, we will subtract all the factors. So we have 11. We have 110 minus 1. 11 minus 10. 22 minus 5. And then we have to get the middle term. So since our middle term is x, it is understood that it has a numerical coefficient 1. In the pairs of factor, this will give us 1 as the middle term. Next, we will factor the first term, x times x, 2 parentheses, put the factors of x in both parentheses, and then we will use 11 and 10. So we have 11 and 10. Since our third term is negative, we will use different sign, and then the higher factor will follow the sign of the middle term. So the higher factor is 11, so this is plus, and this is minus. So we will write all the factors, x plus 11 and x minus 10. We will equate each factor into 0. X plus 11 equals 0 and x minus 10 equals 0. Then, we will have the left and the right side. From left side, positive 11 will be transposed to the right side. So it will become negative 11 and then copy x. Here, from left side, negative 10 will be transposed to the right side. It will become positive 10 and then copy x. So in this example, we have two values of the first integer. So this is the first integer, negative 11 or 10. And then we will get the second integer. So we will just add 1. Negative 11 plus 1, that is negative 10. Here, we have 10 plus 1, that is 11. So in this example, we have two pairs of answer. We have negative 11 and negative 10, 10 and 11. So these are the answers for this example.